project is concerning development of multi-frequency atomic force microscopy platform for chemical and density investigation. And since 19, we are developing atomic force microscopy, and we have developed different probes for thermal measurement, local thermal measurement, pH measurement, conductivity measurement. And since few years, we are developing now integrating new spectroscopic method on this platform. And the idea was atomic force microscopy image are mainly 3D-dimensional topography on color, but we can have access to living process like a protein motion. But the idea was to develop chemical identification at the same time. Okay, just to present atomic force microscopy is based on a small cantilevers with a pyramidal probe, and we're using this probe with atomic atoms at the end, at the apex. We can follow the topography of the surface by maintaining very low force of few piconewton. Like this, we can have access to atomic and molecular resolution in air and solution under vacuum. And we have developed also a system to work at pressure up to 20 bars. So we can, for example, this morning I've seen, we can follow the cracks due to hydrogen because it was developed for CEA. We can have access to 3D topography. We can have a spectroscopy, force spectroscopy using interaction force measurement between different molecules, but it's non-destructive analysis, and we can have access to kinetics and dynamics. So we have developed different access, and here I will just present not fluorescence and Raman spectroscopy, but just these 4 panels for spectroscopy using ultrasonic waves and microwaves and infrared light for excitation. So if we try to couple infrared light pulse laser source using RTR configuration, using a CRF2 prism pyramid, in fact, in our case, we can have access, if we are using the right pulse excitation and right excitation of light, we can have access to the excitation of molecules, and we can detect using atomic force probe. We can detect the short dilatation that appear when we, for example, we are focused on CH ester group on, for example, or CO ester group. This is a bacteria, and we can detect the lipids pockets in this case. So we can have access to chemical identification using this infrared light. But it's not enough, and some people expect more result. And we have applied these techniques in polymer science, in human science, and nanoparticle science. On polymers, we can follow the structure and crystallinity of different elements. We can follow the trace of adjuvant. We can, in human science, we are working with a human science group in Dijon to work on parchment composition to detect the different DNA of the element of the animals used. And we can use also for nanoparticles when we are trying to identify the nanoparticles. Is it working? Strange. Okay. So concerning field in environment and health science, we can, using this platform, we can work on tissue, we can work on cells, on living cells, we can work on culture cells, and we can also work on microorganisms like bacteria, like yeast cell, and to localize and identify some local composition of tags. So using proteins, we can work also on a very small sample like protein, DNA, and to get some information. Why? I have a window. Like it's bacteriopsin protein, but it's in red, and we can detect this protein inside purple membrane, for example. Now, if we instead of using infrared light, we are using ultrasound acoustic waves. So we are making exactly the same thing. We have taken patent on it. And we are making local echography on a range 120 to 20 megahertz. And we can, using same RTR configuration, on the other side of a pyramid CIF2, we can also detect difference in density. So using this platform, we can also apply this platform in material science. On polymers, we can detect the effect of E-beam lithography process. So we have no information on topography, and we can have the information density using acoustic waves. Also, it's the same thing if we are using, for example, trying to image inside a semiconductor device, and we can detect the different line of or detect different components in different hybrids materials. But also, we applied these techniques on health science. For example, we Armor Protein company, we are developing a way to detect contaminants on pharmaceutical powder. It's a lactose powder, and we can detect the different sugar, lactulose, glucose, and so on. It's working? Why is it not working? Okay. And we can develop also, we can work on tissue, on cells. We can see as echography. I don't know if the movie is working. No, it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. But we can have access to embedded structure. We can have access to vacuoles and so on, mitochondrial access. Concerning, if we try to extend wavelength to gigahertz range, so from 0.1 gigahertz to 20 gigahertz or 18 gigahertz, depends on the device we develop. So we develop this platform develop a new platform developed by Broker, but also we're using to help a small company, startup company in Dijon. But if we are using microwave, so we are detecting dielectric constant dielectric properties of the materials. So it could be applied on metals, on semiconductors, and also other materials. So we just focus on one peak, resonant peak, and we can have access, if we are looking, for example, in material science, we are working for CEK Components. It's it's a big company in Dole, closer between Dijon and Besançon. It's good. And we can develop a strength profile on stainless steel disk. And this thickness of this disk is 70 micrometers thick. So it means we cannot have access to the strength profile using current techniques, and we can have access using the microwave. And we can follow also diffusion profile of chemical element, like oxygen and zirconium in zirconium piece. So we could also have access to different information concerning, for example, to see the impact of saliva in the test perception. And we have developed this technique to follow the dissociation of the cell membrane impedance and to see the effect of the salivary pellicule impedance. So using this technique, we have developed also some research concerning biofuel production using bacteria. So with the University Paris-Sud-Orsay, our colleague are developing methods of bacteria. And we have compared, for example, you have a topography with a... It's working? Yeah. With a AFM topographic image in brown color. So this is a bacteria, Longfilamentous bacteria. So you have the acoustic answer, response of this bacteria. So we have, in this case, S. levidens bacteria mutants generate huge lipid pockets. And the other S. collicolor bacteria is mainly used for antibiotic synthesis, and there is only few lipids components. We don't detect in acoustic, and we don't detect in infrared. So by mixing this kind of techniques, we can have access also to the composition of inside the bacteria. So it's proof of concept, and after we can overlay, and we can see that some lipid pockets could be detected using infrared spectroscopy, but using acoustic spectroscopy and using acoustic wave, we can detect smaller pockets. So we have, in fact, new information. So we are working also with the hospital in Dijon, with some group working in the hospital in Dijon, to infection of macrophage by yeast cell. And we can have access also using infrared and acoustic. We can have access to the infrared response of a molecule, so concerning oligosaccharide, glucan, and chitin, for example. And we can overlay the image, and we have acoustic, and we have also the chemical identification. To finish this talk, benefits what we have that provide this funding. But now our platform is as a standard, not for acoustic, because we are looking for, concerning acoustic, we are looking for calibration sample, but concerning infrared, microwave on AFM, we have capability to get information on it, on standard. And this platform is at 20% used for educating. Research, we have developed different INR projects working on it. And we are 30% of the access is for the company. This platform is not on this AFM platform is not on platform. Yes, means I'm managing this platform. It's free access for academic people, or for company, they have to pay. It's only difference, a big difference. So in conclusion, because it was more for company talk, if people want to improve their products on something, we have all the tools on the same platform for characterization, for imaging, to have access to mechanical properties, to have access to chemical properties. We can have access to volumic information and surface information. So people involved in this work are my collaborators, closer collaborators, and people from the other group in Dijon or in Paris. Or thank you for your attention.
Thank you for this presentation. We have time for questions. Michael?
I have a question, or maybe for you, it's the opportunity for you to add a comment on the time to make the picture, because there is some people which is not familiar with atomic force microscope, and regarding the application, so how are you able to visualize some dynamic modification, typically of cells, or is it almost a static picture?
So, concerning dynamics, mainly we work on lipids bilayers with a protein or something. I could bring cell imaging, but on cell imaging can work at 1 frame per second. Can work at 2 or 3 frames per second on over 50 by 50 micrometers square. But mainly, we don't have people asking for real dynamics. And in fact, when people are trying to follow oxidation or to follow diffusion or something, it takes more few minutes to have something which appear on the screen. So it means dynamics is for people trying to make an assembly of protein or DNA with different new materials, like it could be argillous materials, something like this. So people trying to make hybrids of DNA. So it could help, but for people, for example, for pharmaceutical use, or for people, for example, working on cracks due to the effect of hydrogen, when we have imaged hydrogen in high pressure, it was 4% of hydrogen, we see the effect, but in 1 minute, it's enough scan. So it depends on the sample. It's not a limitation. It just depends. But mainly, when people are thinking about dynamics, usually it's a slow dynamics process.
Okay, thank you. We have to stop there because, in fact, we have to be on time for the lunch. So thank you, Eric.